How are we feeling, guys? We good? We can do a little bit louder than that. Come on,
that did sound like we were watching a polite game of cricket in the village green for a second.
All right, guys. How are we doing? We doing good? I still think that's just a little bit underwhelming, what we said. I'll tell you what, let's do this real quick, right? Where my hand is this low, a little bit of noise, and when we get higher, we get all the noise, all right? So let me get a little bit of noise. A little bit more 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 noise.
To the roof!
There we go. You've got it in you. I see the potential. All right, it's cool. So my name's CJ. This is Martin. We're here with Gumball and Piston, of course. Anyone got their Piston gin yet? You can grab some. You might have to pay for it.
There are some gift sets available which you can get signed by the legends that we are bringing on stage today. So check them out and shop down there.
Yeah, little 2-minute walk away. You'll enjoy it. All right, should we bring on our next guest?
I can't wait.
All right, Martin, take it away.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, can you start your cheering? Can you start your clapping? Can you start your roaring? Because we have two legends, Mr. JWW and Nico!
All right, real quick, before we start, Mr. JWW, we spoke to the Stig earlier on, who was very curious about this tyre. Do you have any idea what this tyre is?
Looks like it's a really fast tractor. I have no idea. It looks like a drag tyre of sorts.
All right, I mean, that's the best answer we've got so far.
All right, wet weather drag tyre?
We don't know. We don't know.
Okay. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
What were the other answers? Like, what else?
Oh, no one knows. The Stig was just like, this is really interesting. Anyone know what this is?
A couple of people have said
NASCAR tyre. Big Formula 1 car. That's what I said. Drag tyre. Right. That man designs cars for a living, so I'll take his answer. Drag tyre.
I know what it is. It's a drag tyre.
Amazing. Nico solved it. Perfect. Well, welcome here. Have you guys partaken in the hill climb yet?
I have you?
I've not yet. No.
Are you coming with me or am I coming with you?
I am absolutely not joining you in anything with an engine in it. No way. You're joining me. Yeah. Which says something. It's safer to join me in an 800 horsepower car in the wet than it is to join you in a 500 horsepower car in the dry.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Can we discuss your hesitations and reservations with regards to Nico behind the wheel?
So 4 weeks ago, this guy decided to buy my GT3 off me. So if you've seen a signal yellow GT3 in the car park, he buys it. And to complete a transaction like that takes about 7 days. But he needed it to do a road trip, as it happens with Matt Armstrong. He goes, mate, I need to take the car. I've just blown up the engine on my other GT3, so that filled me with loads of confidence. And he said, can I please take it and we'll just sort it out? I'm like, okay, sure, crack on. So he drives to Barcelona, gets a puncture halfway down, ends up spending 2 nights in Paris trying to get a tyre. It was bank holiday, so he was just stranded. Persuaded a friend of his to drive down from Belfast with a spare tyre to Paris. Got that fitted. Drove it all the way down to Barcelona. And then he's there for 6 hours, and someone sends me a screenshot of him hitting a concrete ramp, and my car, which he still hasn't technically owned yet, flying through the air in Barcelona. Right? So that's my hesitation as to why I want to get in with this madman up a hill climb in the wet.
I can understand that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So valid points. Any defense?
No.
You guys are genuinely friends, right?
Yes.
And I've known James from doing the Gumball rally, and he's refused to be your driving partner in the rally. So, how are you even friends?
Now, you know what the funny bit is, right? He did trust me last year with the Senna, right? I don't know why. I don't know how. It was absolutely incredible, right? But do you know how much the Senna cost? I heard it afterwards, right? Afterwards, how much that was
Would
worth.
you have been a lot more cautious?
No. That's not the point, right?
So give us the figure.
A solid 1.2?
And you drove that from Edinburgh down to London, right?
Yeah. That was good fun, actually. That was really good fun. Did you enjoy that, watching me?
No. It's really strange seeing something that's so familiar and precious to you being driven away in the hands of a madman. You know? But you're also following him for every mile. Yeah. You know, and on the one part you're like, that thing looks cool on the road. On the other hand, you're thinking, I hope it stays on the road. He's just a nut. He's genuinely nuts. One of the things I've said, I'm sure you're all familiar with this guy, and you'll obviously know him predominantly from the car world. I'm not joking when I say he's calmer on camera than he is in real life. Like, most people turn it on for the camera. He tones it down. He's mad.
And I watch his videos. He's mental on the camera.
Yeah. You should see him when no one's here. It's unbelievable.
I'm a
It's
wee bit
unbelievable.
different. I'm a wee bit different. I have a lot of energy. I'm very blessed with a lot of energy, you know, and it's amazing. And it's funny because James is very, very well spoken. We were actually talking about this the other day with Damon and Dave when Damon was feeling all right, how well spoken James is, but how amazingly fun he is when the camera isn't on. So he is completely opposite of himself, you know. Like, he's not as crazy as me, but we tried to get him there, you know. It's amazing. It's really, really cool to see.
All right, James, so you're about to do your 14th Gumball rally or 15th?
This will be my 14th.
Your
The
14th.
14th year joining Gumball, yeah.
Which is amazing.
And
Yeah.
Nico's about to do his first full one, right?
My first full one. The other one I cheated. Yeah, no, yes, I cheated.
Well, you did part of one, kind of like a leg.
Yeah, one leg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
one leg.
James,
And not my car.
Any advice for Nico?
Crikey. I almost don't want to give him any tips because your first Gumball is something really quite special.
Well, we
And
don't want him to
it'll
get
either
arrested.
make or break a man, right? Right. And I'm hoping for the latter.
You know the
he'll
funny-
make great content if he has a full meltdown.
You know what the fun bit was, right? And I mentioned this to you yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I was like, in 2016, the year before I started Pride and Pinion, my business,
Yeah.
the Gumball was in Belfast.
We did Dublin to Bucharest, yeah.
Yeah. And I stood in a crowd with less than £10 on my bank account
Wow.
in 2016. And that was always what I wanted to do. And this year it's become a reality. And for me,
Hey,
it's,
can we have a round of
Sweet.
applause to that?
yeah.
So, Nico, you are huge in the YouTube world, it's particularly for watches, and James, you're huge with the automobile world. Like, how did you guys become friends? What, like, you're calm, you're well spoken, and he's a wild one.
Opposites attract, right? We are literally yin and yang.
It's a yin and
And I think
yang,
that's
right?
kind of why it strangely works. The actual story was, so I've been a Michelin brand ambassador for like 6 years. And Michelin invited Nico along to the Goodwood Festival of Speed a few years back. And we bumped into each other. And he was like, man, I'm this close to 1 million subscribers. I said, mate, we're going to get you over today, right? So I went live to my audience, and we went live like this. And within the hour, everyone that had tuned into that ended up subscribing to him. And so we celebrated his 1 million subscribers together at that moment. And that was it. That was how it went.
That was really special. Yorkie was sitting there. I'll never forget that, mate. 1 million subscribers. Who would have ever thought that would be possible when I started that journey? You know, that was so surreal. And celebrating that with James that's just a special bond at that moment in time. And you know what? I learn a lot from James, and I hope sometimes he doesn't learn anything from me, but whatever. But I think it is just it's really cool, you know. I have great admiration for James, and I think the world is going to see so much of him, and like it's special. A great guy. Can I have a big applause for this guy, please? Come
Oh,
on,
man, you're
please.
making me blush, man. What's going on? He's a big, friendly bear, this guy.
This
He's
is
a
a wee
wonderful,
bit
wonderful man.
I'm
Wonderful
not going to
man.
kiss you, lad.
Nico, James has helped you out with getting a car recently,
Yes.
which you kind of took off the air in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Have you helped James out with winning watches?
Yes, of course.
Tell
Of
us a little
course.
bit.
I'm wearing one now as a result of Nico.
Yeah.
So he introduced me to this brand. It's called Ulysse Nardin. And you put a watch on my wrist during Monterey Car Week last year, and I'd never seen or worn anything like it. It's like a little engine on your wrist because the movement's on the front and it moves with the time. I was like, what the hell is this thing? So then I'm starting to pick his brains now about just teach me about the watch world because it's so old, right? Like there's watch brands out there that are almost 200 years old, right? So the amount of history and heritage, which I'm completely unaware of. So I'm in the position to ask him the really dumb, obvious questions. And over the years, I've just absorbed so much. And this guy, for all of his fun and games, right? When he switches on and starts talking watches, it's unbelievable. He has reference numbers in his head like Rain Man. It's crazy.
It's so genuine.
Yeah.
The love, you can tell the love is there.
That's my life. And the funny bit is a lot of people ask me how and why, and I was like, it's the same as James with cars. This is my life when I was a wee boy, when I was a kid. The fun part is, right, and I say this, for the majority of my life, I've been ridiculed for my strange hobby, which is called watches. And now I'm being celebrated for it. So it's really, really cool,
Stay true
Doing
to
what
yourself.
you love.
All right, listen, your knowledge and expertise on watches, and being that you've obviously got an opinion, that can get you in a little bit of controversy sometimes.
Of course.
You're currently going through a situation right now with a huge rapper. Can we speak about
Of
how
course.
you've entered a beef with Rick Ross?
Nico's not shy. He'll spill the beans.
Fake Ross, you mean?
Fa-
No, man.
fake
Fair
Ross.
enough, fair
Okay.
enough, fair enough. William Leonard, that's his real name, by the way. He stole the name Rick Ross at one point. Actually,
so
he
he's
did.
got a fake name. He's also got a fake watch.
Yeah, he has a good few watches that are fake. He has a few that are real. But the fun part is, right? Listen, people say, it's aftermarket or it's no, no. It bears the name Audemars Piguet, and it's not manufactured by Audemars Piguet, the complete watch. So that means it's not a real watch. It direct replicates a piece unique, which is owned by a very good client of ours, which is worth 12 million. But there's a serious factor in that. There's two reasons why I called it out. One is resilient value. The guy that actually owns the real watch paid $12.7 million for a set of watches.
And it's one of one, right?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden there's another one. What do you think will happen with the value of that watch?
Okay.
Rick Ross. It's not really
It's
a
not
great
helping.
brand ambassador, is he?
It's not helping.
All right, fair enough. Right, another point is, if AP didn't know or if we didn't produce that or didn't educate that properly, AP would have maybe thought that he sold that watch. And that means that the
He's
guy that
blacklisted.
paid 12.7 million would have been blacklisted. We had to do what we had to do, and there's a serious factor. And of course, entertainment. And you know what? Him responding was the best thing that could have ever happened. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
So how far does this go? Are you looking to end the beef? You want to escalate it? Have we got a rap song, diss song ready to go?
You know what? Above anything else, I'm a serious businessman, and we employ a lot of people, and I'm very proud that we do that in Northern Ireland and in Belfast. And all fun and games, I sell the most exclusive watches in the world, and I'm known as one of the biggest figures in my industry. And going full-blown blast against rappers and stuff, I mean, that's not really the future, is it?
Yeah.
For me, it is important to add value properly, and that means that I need to educate people, and then entertainment is one of them. And I'm a crazy guy, but I it's business above anything else,
Okay. So we got a camera right here. So Rick Ross, we're going to squash
Ricky.
the beef right now.
Ricky, sorry, William Leonard II.
Do it to that camera right there.
Ricky, right? I was talking to 50 there, and I want to come down to the Promised Land, or what was that shithole that you live in?
Is it Promised Land or Graceland? No, that's Promised Land.
It's a Promised Land.
in Florida.
That's promising, yeah. That's promising. Have you seen his car collection?
Are there
What
any
do-
fakes there?
I don't know. I make videos not about. I just like to drive cars. I don't know anything about cars. You see what I mean?
We should get James on the case for that then.
Yeah. What do you think of Rick Ross's car collection?
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
No.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we go to his place? You review the watches. I'll review the cars, and we can all come by our happy
we can
family.
do that.
How's that sound?
You know what the funny bit is, right? He said, because this is how you see that someone is all talk, right? He's all talk. Ricky, you're all talk, right?
There goes the invitation. Oh,
There
we're all
goes the
done
invitation.
now. Thanks.
Oh, I'm going to buy a piglet and call it Nico. And I'm going to showcase it on the car show. I didn't hear anything about a piglet that was called Nico. All talk. Action, Ricky.
You heard it here first.
Okay, so we're squashed then. All right, good.
Great.
All right, nice one.
Beef squash, no beef anymore.
James.
Anyone want to
Business
buy a
class.
watch? Special price.
So you've done the rally, James, in some extraordinary cars. Can you tell us a bit about some of the cars you've driven the rally in?
Yeah, it's different every year, and you try and pick and choose a car that you think is going to be crazy enough to make it through, but still applicable to the route that you're doing. I think peak crazy was definitely the Vulcan, right? So we did Vulcan in 2019.
And you had Aston Martin follow you with that car, right?
Yeah.
They had a service team.
Yeah, so a friend of mine was crazy enough to say, do you want to convert his Vulcan to a road legal car? So the Vulcan they only made 25 of them. They were track only cars. And it was absolutely in no way, shape or form designed to go on the road. So we thought 3,000 miles through Eastern Europe would be a great idea. So we went through a program with Aston, and the amount of work it takes to convert and importantly make legal a race car for the road is huge, right? So this thing, it's got a huge amount of aero. The front splitter is like 3 feet long. To make it road legal and also go over speed bumps, we had to halve the splitter. And this is a almost a $2 million car. This isn't let's just get a Dremel and chop the splitter in half. This is make a new splitter from carbon fiber from scratch. The small things that you don't think about, the push to talk to pits button, we had to re-engineer as the jet wash for the windscreen, right? So you don't think about these things. Turning circle in a race car, non-existent. Yeah. So we had to re-engineer that. Ride height's different. As soon as you change the ride height on a race car, it doesn't work, right? So then you have to account for all of the whole aero profile of that car. So the rear wing was adjusted to then rebalance with the fact that the front splitter was half its depth. And then ultimately, because the car is designed to have a huge amount of air flowing through it at all times, and it was designed to do stint racing, not endurance racing. It had a very small fuel tank, and it drank with 2 straws. So we were stopping for fuel a lot. So one thing we couldn't change was the actual capacity of the fuel tank. But Aston created a new map for the engine to help it cool down. But it was quite disconcerting because you could only put it into this map when the car was stationary. So what had happened is you would pull up to some traffic lights and it would heat soak and just turn into this one big heat sink. In Albania in 2019, it was 42 degrees, right? And all this thing wants to do is swallow air at high speed, and you're stuck in traffic and in some Albanian city, and you just see temperature rise going up and up and up. You think the last thing we want to do is brick this thing in the middle of city rush hour traffic. So that they created this map where you actually had to turn the car off, which in itself is kind of counter. And then you would turn this dial, and the radiators at the front would just go up to 11, and they'd be blowing and sucking super hard. And then it would just get hotter and hotter and hotter, but it would be cooling all of the water at the front of the radiator. Then you turn it back on again, and all that cool water would then recirculate itself and then cool everything else down. And it was a real knack to actually get it to work. The turning circle we could only do a little bit with, so Aston provided a support van. And there was some times where we would get into a town and we wouldn't have the turning circle to be able to turn around a corner. And these guys would jump out of a van like the A-Team, hop out of the van, we put this thing into neutral, and these men would just appear from nowhere and push this car backwards so that we could make it around a corner. And it would drink fuel like you wouldn't believe. So by its gearing, it was restricted to 178 miles per hour. A lot of fun.
I had a similar experience with a McLaren Senna last year in the Gumball. I was at the fuel station every 75 miles.
So this is what I mean by choosing a Gumball car, right? You can either go full fat rock and roll, and for the content, for the gram, it looks great. All you don't see is we're at the petrol station every 5 minutes, and sometimes they just overheat and break down. Or you can decide to do it in a Bentley, and everything's fine and normal. So depends on what you want to do.
Or you buy a Ferrari GTS and it doesn't work.
Solid advice. All right, is there any questions that we've got from the audience today?
I don't think we have time.
Oh, no time? All right.
No time for questions. I felt like this was getting warmed up, man. That's us done.
We are going to do a meet and greet at the back, though, if you guys...
Okay, well, if Dave's queue's gone down. Are you kidding me?
Can I, by the way, say one thing, and this is to absolutely every single one of you, and I can speak for James, and I can speak for Dave. The support that you guys have given us today is beyond of anything I've ever experienced, anything I've ever felt. And for that, I want a big applause for all of you guys. And it is so special. It made me feel special, and I know for James, of course, as well, and for Dave as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Nico for
cool.
Prime Minister, man. Nico for Prime Minister.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we make some noise for Nico and Mr. JWW himself,
Thank you.
please?